groups like that also had a role, as we saw through time. They generated basically, or I mean, it's hard to say that they were not degenerate from the beginning.
No, they kind of celebrated it. Yeah.
But they kind of openly became basically drug traffickers and actually kind of became more professional and in that business. Not attacking the ambassadors of Yugoslavia in various countries, but kind of organizing the sale of cocaine and the transport of it from Latin America to Europe and so on. But still with their deep state connections. But at that point, some of them already in the late 80s and especially in the 90s were recruited by the Yugoslav state security in the 90s, or various national departments, like the Serbian part of the state security and so on, to do stuff for them. And, so you have like leaders of SOPO who wanted, to destroy Yugoslavia and the communist regime, now working for people like Jovica Stanisic, who was the head of the Milosevic, state security and so on. Mm-hmm. And suddenly they're on the same page, like ex-communists, some of which still consider themselves like socialists or communists even, or leftists or anti-imperialists, cooperating with these people who are, in the cocaine business and work for the CIA, but now on this kind of, on patriotic duties. Which also means, making money and and selling weapons to the so-called enemy side during the war. And having even friendly relations with war commanders on the other side that when you both served in the French Foreign Legion, in between robbing banks in Western Europe and so on. So I think the context, the ideological kind of context, and the class composition, or what you want to call it, of the people who were actually kind of more influential in this conflict in the 90s. Was more determined by the politics of the Communist Party of Yugoslavia. But then some of the people who were recruited in the process that started in the 80s and the 90s came out of the right-wing circles and organized crime circles that we talked about.
Fritz here. This has been a highly manipulative attempt to entrap you into our Patreon page at patreon.com/tenepod to subscribe and get the full premium episode we've teased here. Also check out our Twitter account, also at tenepod, and follow us, subscribe, and get the latest updates as well as whatever garbage falls out of our brains. So we cool?